start? Yeah, we're going to go live right now.
Yeah.
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Awesome. So we'll start. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me. What an honor.
Yeah, oh, I hope so. Everyone says that, but I'm like, I hope you really mean it, because I really love what I do. I'm really excited because this is, well, it's actually, I thought I never wear makeup or like get dressed up for dressed up for my podcast, but I thought I'd get dressed up for you because you're actually my last podcast for TimaTalks.
What do you mean?
I'm stopping all the podcasts for TimaTalks. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm moving on to a different page, which, yeah, it's just all about, like, I'm going to be moving into a different direction. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we better end with a bang then.
Yeah, end with a bang. Are you going to do a siva?
Yes. Oh, with my.
Am I ready for you?
Oh my gosh, every time I try to do a siva, my parents are like, "Is it low? Give me my law."
Yeah.
I'll do the right again.
That's so cool. All right, so we'll start the podcast. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining me. And it is the final TimaTalks podcast ever, but don't worry, there are other things to look forward to. But I'm really excited to have you here. Like I was saying to you before, when I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that it was Samoan Language Week. And I only just remembered like Sunday morning. I was like, oh my God, it's Samoan Language Week. So I thought, okay, where's a Samoan businesswoman that I could think of? And I thought of my Bible studies buddy right here. And we made it happen. So for those of you who are wondering, I know Liz through Bible studies. Shout out to Dawn, who was our Bible studies teacher.
Yes.
And I loved those sessions. Oh, they were just like therapy. There was just something.
Yes.
I think it was just Dawn's energy. Like her vibe was really like healing and godly. And it's just something that I really wanted to resonate with at the time, because I was going through a time of healing at the time. And I thought, oh, this was just it's Friday night jam.
And it was the energies of the other women that were there as well. We were all searching for something. And so we all met at a time where we needed to meet.
Amen.
Because God wanted us to meet.
God is good. All right.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so we'll start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, where you come from in the islands, your favorite Samoan dishes. Go.
So it's fatalo fatuile pa iamale mamalu lo fafonga mail ne afi. Just want to say thank you, sis, for having me on your podcast this evening. Whenever I'm asked that question, I never know where to start. So I guess I'll just start by explaining my name, and then we'll just go from there.
Awesome.
So my name is Eliza Auina Jones. Elizabeth is the Balangi translation for Elisabetta, which is my mother's name. Auina is my surname, but it's also my grandfather's name. And Jones is my husband's surname, and he's just an extension of me. So I thought, he can just tag along, and that's why my name is Elizabeth Auina Jones. So I'm Samoan singer. I am one of 4 kids. I'm the second eldest, so with being a second eldest comes a lot of pressure. Born and raised in West Auckland, but educated in both New Zealand and Samoa. So I'm very fortunate to have gone to Leififi Intermediate as well as Samoa College, which are the schools that my dad went to. So just having that connection means a lot to me. Favorite Samoan dishes? Oh gosh, is this a Samoan dish if I'm saying kuikui and kalo? I love kuikui and kalo.
Yeah.
And I guess luau, balsami.
Yeah.
When it's cooked right, so it's not mangeto.
When it's cooked right, And I find that balsami or luau, when it's made in the islands, when your family bring it back in the box, and that's when it tastes the best. I'm not a fan of balsami that's made here. I don't know why. There's just something about it. It just doesn't taste well.
Yeah, I think it tastes different. Maybe the soil's different, and because over there they actually cacao the new the coconut, whereas we get it in the can over here. So
it's fresh. It's fresh. This is how hungus my family is. We actually keep a lot of our balsami from Samoa in the freezer. Like we save. Yeah. So we do. Yeah. You got it, because you how often do you get it? Hardly ever. So make the most of it. Where do you hail from in Samoa?
So my dad is from the beautiful village of Saluafata in Upolu, and my mum is from Whalealupo in Savaii. So if you've heard of all the those aiku stories and Wassell's footprint, it's the same village, Falealupo, that's where my mum's from.
Wow, yeah. I've definitely heard of those. It is evening, and we are Christians, so let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So
I'm like looking at my window, like my window's open. No, that's cool. I love that. So talk to us about your business and what inspired you to start.
So it's a bit of a story. So I feel like I have to start from the beginning to do it justice. Right. I'll start by explaining what Eliza Auina Boutique is. So Eliza Auina Boutique is a values-based business, and it exists to elevate Pasifika communities through fashion. So we provide Pasifika-inspired kimono and environmentally friendly products which give women the confidence to express their individuality, express their identity, and to just be unapologetically Pasifika. So unapologetically Pasifika is our tagline, and it's become like a bit of a movement.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go.
So yeah, as a ethnic group, Pasifika are always looking for visual markers to stand out, and the beauty of that is that there's still a lot to be created and to be designed. So just like the beautiful earrings that we wear, by the way, I am wearing these koloa earrings. I love them. So many designers out there, eh? But just like the earrings that we wear, the seien out here, the lae or the puletasi that we wear, I also wanted to create some bright and bold statement pieces for everyone to enjoy. Traditionally with the fashion industry, models look a certain way, they're a particular size, but I didn't want any of that.
Yeah. Because
this is my business, I could literally just do whatever I wanted to. And so our Pasifika, this is us acknowledging that our Pasifika women come in all curves and sizes, and I wanted to be able to embrace that. So 3 values that we live by is, so I've taken the acronym from EAB to find words that the values could be expressed in. So E stands for environmentally friendly, and that goes back to, just looking after our environment, understanding and acknowledging that our ancestors nurtured, and they were the ones that looked after the environment. So we should be doing that to, I guess, look after the future generations. The A stands for aspire. So through the business, I really want to encourage people to dare to dream and to discover your untapped potential, because man, a lot of Pasifika just have that potential within them, but are too afraid to tap into that.
Right.
And then B stands for boldness. So it's really important to speak bravely, to act boldly, to speak bravely and act boldly to shape a better future for Pasifika, to shape a better tomorrow. So that's kind of the EAB values that we stand by. So that's what, in a nutshell, Eliza Auina Boutique is about. But what inspired me to start this was, well, I've always been quite creative and into fashion. Sewing is in my DNA. So my grandmother used to sew, mum is an amazing seamstress, my aunties sew. So naturally it's always been there. And I've always been creating things, like as a 10-year-old, I had always, because we grew up in a household where my dad was the only one working, but he looked after my mother, who was a stay-at-home mum, 4 kids, my grandfather and my uncle. So we didn't have much to grow up with. So mum always had to be really resourceful. She would sew like pulikasis and stuff for us, and because I didn't like the fob designs that she would sew, like with the shoulder puffs, I would rip the pulikasis apart and I'll design my own things. So as a little kid, I would design my own pencil cases for myself and my sister. I would design like book covers. I'd just be into design. But naturally, my parents wanted us to focus on education. So there was a point in life where I had to just abandon the whole childlike curiosity and creativity to pursue education. And so I hadn't done anything since I was 10 years old, focused on education. Fast forward like 20 years later, so this only happened last year in 2019, we had a few too many deaths, many traumatic experiences as a family. So many things happened in my family's life. And so because all of that stuff happened, I started to question the meaning of life. I started to question my own happiness. I started to question whether I was truly fulfilled. And that's why you saw me at those Christian yeah. And it was everything. Like, it was just all compounded because everything had happened to our family. And so when we had like the last death in our family, it really hit home for me. And like my husband and I came home, and I was talking to him, and I go to him, man, if that was me on my deathbed, I don't know if I would be truly happy. I don't know if I could say I'm truly fulfilled and satisfied with life, because at that point I only realized that I was so busy keeping my parents happy, serving my family, serving my friends, but I didn't necessarily put what I wanted to pursue, and so I thought to myself, look, if I don't, like, I really want to tap into that 10-year-old again. I've always wanted to start up a Pasifika business, but if I don't give it a go now, then I'll live the rest of my life regretting not tapping into that childlike 10-year-old, and to design Pasifika clothing. I'll never know what it's like. So naturally, I was nervous. I had negative self-talk. I didn't think I was good enough or that I was smart enough. Like, at the time, we barely even had enough money to keep our lights on. Yet I was wanting to go and start this Pisimisi. But I had to do a deep dive into my why. So I had to really ask myself, well, why is it that I want to start a Pisimisi? Why do I want to start a business now? What is it that I want to achieve? And why is it important? And then once I was clear on my why, it made it easier for me to be like, actually, no, I'm just going to start. I'm going to start this Pisimisi. And I haven't looked back ever since.
Yeah.
So I think it also comes down to my personal belief that God's got a blueprint for every person's life, and what's meant to be will be. It will eventually eventuate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does. I want to go back to how, and I love that you've shared your story in such a great way, and it's very inspiring. But I wanted to go back to you talking about your designs being unapologetically Pasifika. Now, as a girl that grew up in Christchurch around a whole bunch of white people, I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that you've made a fashion statement for women like us, not just Samoans, but Pasifika women, to be unapologetically themselves. Because I find that, I mean, this might not be a really good example, but I find that, like, when I was little, my mum took me to the hairdresser years ago, and we had, I had to get my hair cut, and the hairdresser charged us extra because my hair was so thick, and it's like, and I'm looking back, I'm like, there was nothing I could have done about that at the time. I mean, I'm Pasifika, like, this is who I am, what I look like. Am I supposed to be sorry for that? You know what I mean? Like, am I supposed to be sorry for damaging your balangi scissors? Like, so, I mean, that might be a bad example, but that's just the first thing that comes to me. But also, we weren't allowed to speak our own language at school. Like, it was considered rude to speak Samoan, because there were quite a few Samoans, and they were just my family in the class, and we would say Samoan words here and there. And I remember getting a growling just because it was rude, like, if not everyone understands it, then you can't speak it. And for me, I'm like, I would want to be in a space forever where I can always embrace my mother tongue and my cultural identity anytime I want. So I just want to say, I appreciate you creating something like this. Have you had any experiences in your life where you've felt ashamed of being who you are, or you feel like there's no options for women like us?
Yeah, many. So I've always felt that I don't necessarily know who I am. Yeah. When you grow up as a New Zealand-born Samoan, it's almost like you're never good enough to be Samoan in New Zealand, but when you go back home, you're never good enough to be Samoan there as well. Yeah. So being unapologetic,
it's almost like being Afakasi, almost. Like, we're not Afakasi, like, we're Samoans, but it's almost like being Afakasi, like, you can't Fat Samoa, and your Fat Samoa's not good enough in the islands, and your Fat Samoa's not good enough here. It's like, well, how do I even become who I am? It's not, I didn't tell my mom to bring us here,
And because all of that is happening, you grow up not knowing who you are, and so because you don't know who you are, it's the narratives of society that exist about being Pasifika. That's what shapes who you think you are. And so I would grow up not knowing what it really means to be Pasifika. So there was a certain, just a mental construct of what it means to be Samoan. And I grew up behaving a certain way because I thought that's what society asked of us.
Yeah.
I grew up behaving, like a Tima Samoa just because I thought that's what my parents wanted of me. So it's like, it's so hard navigating two worlds and two minds. And it's like, oh, I'm just so confused. But and just that I wanted to make a point about always having our narrative written for us. Like it's usually people who are non-Samoan who feel that they have enough authority to create a narrative about Pasifika.
Oh, true.
And there are so many misconceptions about that. And it's like, enough is enough. So that's, I honestly just reached a point last year where I was like, enough is enough. You're not going to define who I am as a Pasifika. I will define who I think I am. And that's kind of where unapologetically Pasifika came from, because it was just me saying, no, you know what, you're not going to define me. I'm unapologetically Pasifika. I'm going to dress a certain way, because I don't know if I mentioned this, but I still work full time as Auckland Council. So working at Auckland Council, you don't really see Pasifika women dressing up in our la'i, like we dress in a mainstream way. Yeah. And because of that, I've always thought, flip, I'm too ma to wear a pulikasi, or I'm too ma to wear just Pacific clothing. But then when I started to realize in myself that, no, I'm actually proud of who I am. I'm proud of like ancestors, our the struggle that they went through to put bread on the table and for us to be where we are now. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of our narrative. So I want us to be able to create our own narrative instead of having it created and written for us. So it's like saying, you know what, it's not being, I do want to make clear that I'm not what's the word? I'm not an activist, but it's me being a advocate for other voices out there, because I know there's many of us who are afraid to be Pasifika, whatever that looks like. But it's like saying, no, it's time for us to rise up to the challenge and be like, I'm unapologetically Pasifika, however that looks. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but
it makes sense. And I like that we're talking about this. And I don't know, but I was scrolling through social media on last night on Twitter, and I saw a little post, a screenshot from Facebook. Someone was saying, why do we need to celebrate Samoan language for? They've got an island, they should go and celebrate it there. Same with all the other islands. And I'm like, girl. I'm like, really? So I mean, I just wanted to bring that up because, when we hear comments like that, that's really discouraging. Imagine being the only, like me, I was like this in many situations throughout my childhood and my teens, where being the only Samoan girl in the room. And then people saying just stereotypical things, things that are really discouraging and make you kind of question whether you want to be proud of who you are. So I'm really glad that we're in a generation now. We've got women like us, women like you, who are just setting an example for younger Samoan women out there. I love it.
And I think now is the right time. So like, if you understand the hurt and the trauma that's happened in our past, and the stuff that happened in the 70s and the 80s about the Dawn raids, and then seeing how Pasifika and Māori are still discriminated against, but it's at the systemic level. You can fight that, but you don't have to fight with your fists. You can have like a passive movement just through your clothing, kind of like the Mau movement. It's like non-violent, but it's through my clothing. This is my visual marker to say I'm unapologetically Pasifika, and I deserve to be here at the decision-making table.
Amen. I love that's so true. So we'll go into your clothes. Like, I love that we've been talking about the why, the passion. I mean, the change that it can make. Like, some people might look at it as just a garment, as just a kimono, as a blazer or something, but it's got a true meaning behind the clothing. And that's what I really appreciate about your brand. And I can't wait for it to soar and get out there and be worn by Pasifika people all around the world. But I want to talk about the pieces specifically. So I'm assuming there are names for each piece?
Yeah.
Talk to us about the names of each piece and what inspired those names.
Yep. Since I started in October last year, I've got 2 collections. So my first collection was the spring collection, 2019, and the theme around that was about sisterhood. So I had 5 garments, and each of those 5 garments were named after my 4 best friends and my 1 cousin. And the reason why I named it after them was because it was about honoring your inner circle, honoring the people who have stood by you since the beginning. Because a lot of, like these, my best friends, they have been there through my darkest times, my highest times, the times where I really needed someone. And so I thought, well, if this brand is about your individuality, being unapologetically Pasifika, and your confidence, it's really important that I start with confident, strong women who have held me up, because they're all my tower of strength.
I just want to highlight what you've just said. Those women who have been there for you through your darkest times, through your highs and all your lows. There's a bond that is so special there. Like, because I've got friends like that too. I've got some girlfriends who are just amazing and who have been, and like, sometimes we just buzz out on how long we've known each other, because you talk about, oh, remember that guy, or remember this time, remember when you passed out here, and then you're just like, wow, we've been together we've grown together. So I think that's what stood out, because I saw your stuff on social media, and let's be honest, when I see things we're bombarded by ads and posts and businesses. Let's be real here. But when I saw your post, I didn't even recognize you. But what I recognized was the girls in the photo shoot. And I was like, I think they're friends in real life. I don't think they're models. You can really sense that energy. But I just wanted to highlight that is such a beautiful bond. And I really like that. So starting with who's got the first piece, and how did you arrange the colors to go for each friend?
I think so. It's funny because I started that and I hadn't told them about it. So I wanted to surprise them. And I think we were all just overcome by emotion, by what was happening. So the green one is called the Pasifika Kimono. So she's my best friend. And I guess it was just luck, just me knowing them well enough.
Blessing.
It's a blessing, yes.
Yeah, that's so true.
It was an absolute blessing, because I know these women, I know their body types, I know their skin tones, and so it just worked and it just flowed. And honestly, it is everything that has happened to this point is just God ordained. Sometimes I'm like, how did that work? But it just worked. So knowing their skin tones, knowing their body types, knowing what they would be comfortable with, that's what I designed. So yeah, my best friend Nivea, she's got the green awful. My best friend Maylin has got the grey awful. Sarah's got the orange awful. Nika's got the blue awful, and my cousin Anga has got the yellow awful.
Right.
So my best friends were the ones that they're also my bridesmaids for my wedding. So it's not just oh yeah, you want to be my best friend. It's like these girls really mean something to me. And I thought, if our brand is about authenticity, and if it's about really just sharing this relationship that I have with people, so it's going from like not just being transactional. I don't just want a sale, I want a relationship. It's like, oh, what's your story? Because everyone's got a story to tell, and it's through those stories it's like you can elevate Pasifika communities. That's what I mean by elevating Pasifika communities through fashion. So it's creating a relationship through the kimono, but then elevating them to the next level. So it's like, oh, where do you want to go in life, blah blah kind of thing. So it's like a big brand. So that's the spring collection 2019, and then the recent one is the summer 2020, and the theme for that is Auina. So people are like, oh, why did you start with sisterhood first and not Auina? But it's because,
family first.
yeah. But I was really strategic in doing that, because I thought, sometimes, and this is just me being really true about my story, sometimes when you start a business, your family don't understand the vision, and they can't see.
They support you out of love, but they don't support you out of belief.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, sister, preach it.
Out of love, not belief. They're like, hey, what are you doing? But we love you, so we'll support you. But yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
But also asking those questions of, oh, that's nice, but have you registered? Do you know what that means? Come knocking on your door, you know, those questions.
Totally.
And so I started having those discussions with my family first, and I thought, okay, we'll put Ainga to the side, but I'll start with sisterhood, because when I brought up the idea of starting a business with my best friends, they were all for it. Naturally, they've been there for the highs and the lows. So I thought, if I start the foundation strong with having the girls there, and then building on it based on my values, then that will set me up well. So that's why I just switched it a little bit. So yeah, the summer 2020 is my Ainga. So I've got these 4 of us modeling. So mum is in the pink kimono, the Eliza kimono. Yeah. My sister Rona is in the black and white kimono. My sister Steva is in the lime and blue kimono, and then I'm in the red kimono. So each of us were in those colors. And again, I was just really blessed with how it all worked out. Yeah. I was only really intentional about one of the kimonos and who I wanted to model it, and because of the journey that my mum's been through, the personal journey of suffering or going through breast cancer and you know, she's a breast cancer survivor, I really wanted her to wear the pink one. But then with me and my siblings, I was just like, you just pick whatever one you want, and I'm going to use you guys as my model. And the whole setup of just the summer collection was based around my whole family. So we had our photo shoot at my cousin's house. Our photographer was my brother. I had my husband in the background taking photos of just us, the behind the scenes. So it's like I used my whole family. I used my network to make it happen. Yeah. So
that's smart, that you're making the most of the resources you have. You know how many people get so excited about starting up a business and they start and they go all out without actually testing the market first. It's not going to work. So it's not going to work. So I love that you've been able to use your blessings, your family, your friends, to be able to launch a really great business in order for it to work. Like, you know, because if it didn't work, not only do you have good feedback, you know, a legit, genuine feedback, but you've saved money as well. And money is key in business. Yeah. So I admire that. And you know what? I'm going to do that from now on. My next business, I don't have a business, but you know, my next business idea, I'm going to do that.
No, honestly, I highly recommend it. Anyone that wants to jump into starting a business, just do a bit of a needs assessment. Look at what you've already got around you. So rather than having to pay for, or like fork out a lot of money to pay for a photographer, see if anyone is already experimenting or exploring with a camera. And that's how I got my brother, and because he's starting to experiment with a camera. So I was like, you know what, come and take our photos.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 cameras, and I'm hoping for a 3rd one because my 30th in a couple of and so I'm hoping my parents can buy me a nice camera. If my mum's watching, Mum, I want a new camera. But I'm gonna try and teach my niece how to use a camera so she can take my photos. Straight up, like, I'm not even lying. Like, that's how much, because I don't have anyone else. Like, I don't have anyone else to help me, and my niece is here every weekend because my brother stays here now. So I was like, hey, come take my photos, because she's on TikTok all day. So I'm like, come and take my photos.
Let's do it.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just interested to know about your experiences in the Pasifika fashion industry so far. Praise the Lord, it's growing. Praise the Lord that we're going places. We've got some influential people in the community in that side. But talk to us about your experiences in the Pasifika fashion industry.
Yeah, so it is still new for me. I am still a fly on the wall, and I'm trying to learn really quickly. But it's really hard at times, because there are times when, so I am still human, and there are times when I feel like I'm not enough and that I'm not good enough to ask for help. But that's my own negative self-talk. But But I've found that people are really willing to help you if you just have enough humility to ask. You know, the awesome thing about the Pasifika fashion industry is that I personally haven't felt any competitiveness or like any bad blood. I don't know whether I'm just naive or whether I choose to just see the positive, or actually it's because I've had positive experiences with Pasifika designers. I think it's also really important that you support the creativity of others as well. And what has really helped me in the Pasifika fashion industry is just really staying grounded, and knowing that I can ask for help, but also knowing that I have to do it myself. So it's staying in my lane and not trying to go too far out of the kimono core business. When I started, I was like, I want to be the Samoan version of City Chick. Like, you know, that's what I was thinking. But then my husband, because he's got a business background, when we sat down and we were doing a bit of a strategy planning, he was going to me, it's much easier when you just focus on one thing and master that one thing, and then like expand and scale up.
Otherwise, if you do too many things, you're gonna half-ass it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and then it's like, that's good below, that's good below. So yeah, just it's really just staying in my own lane and asking for help when I know I need it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's cool. And I was just interested to know, because I've never really talked to anyone in the, I've talked to Sheena. She's a Cook Island seamstress designer. But I was just interested to know your ones, because you're still fairly new. You're doing very well. Yeah, you're doing very well for someone that's new. Like, you got a lot of followers, and you're going to grow and grow. I can't wait to see you bloom after COVID-19. I feel like COVID-19 has just put such a hold on everything, and especially entrepreneurs such as yourself. Like, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. So sum up your experience. No, actually. Do you have any advice out there for anyone who wants to start their own line? Let's talk specifically for our Samoan sisters.
For our Samoan sisters, so just get clear on why you want to start, and then go for it. Too many people are consumed by their own self-doubt, especially us as Pasifika women and men. A lot of us are told what to do. So it's like, our parents, they do the thinking for us. Some of us who are, not saying I'm 40, but some who are 40 are still very respectful towards their parents. And so it's all about, the hotel tour and service. And we all get that. But at some stage, you need to live your own life as well and decide what you think is right for you. So it's designing your own life and not living by default. Right. So try not to get too consumed by your whole self-doubt. The way I always see things is, if you have access to food, if you have access to cleaning water, if you have a roof over your head, then you literally have nothing to lose. So actually just go for it. And when you have enough courage to start, you'll also have enough courage to succeed. What's another one? There's plenty of room for us to play in this industry. So this is really important. Starting is easy, but keeping a business running is actually really hard, especially if you're the only person that's doing social media and designing and cutting and sourcing and marketing, everything. So it's really hard, but you need to know your why, and you need to know your purpose, and just be clear on that. Because honestly, when the tough times hit, and like with me running this business while working full time, when the tough times have hit, I've gone back to my why. And for me, I guess it's easy because my why is written in my name, Eliza Auina, so it's having my parents there. And it's just, not giving up. Hey, it's being really persistent and just saying to yourself, I can do this, and to keep going. So, and it's really important also, just wanted to put it out there, that when you do start a bisinisi, it's important that you maintain a healthy work-life balance. Like,
I've heard of that. I've heard burnout is real.
It is real, man. There was a time where I wasn't posting, but it was because I was borderline burnt out, and I wasn't maintaining the healthy balance between my spiritual, my physical, and my mental. And so I needed to get that right. And so COVID, I think, hit at the right time, because I was able to reset, realign, go back to my why, and then, yeah, just go again. So it's don't give up, be persistent, and just keep going.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
So do you have a Samoan proverb you want to share to end off the podcast?
Yep. So this one is very relevant to the ngangana sa vaiaso ole ngangana Samoa. So e loa le tangata Samoa I nana tū, malana tautala, malana savali. So this was a alanga upu that my parents would always say to me growing up. It's really important that you know your mannerisms, the way you conduct yourself, the way you speak, and your conduct.
So true. So
So just wanted to
yeah,
leave your viewers with that.
Yeah,
That's
so true, because you know, as Samoans and as most Pacific cultures, actually most cultures, you don't just represent yourself, you represent your whole family. Like if you and I were cousins and we were at the same school and you started acting up, it would affect me, vice versa. Yeah, and I think that's really important. I think that's really important for the younger generation. Like, yeah, right. But no, that's so true. I love that. Thank you so much. What's next?
That's a great question. Oh, actually, so I was meant to be designing the next autumn collection, so it will be coming out soon, but because of COVID, we've had to just press pause on a lot of these things. So keep an eye out for the next collection that will be coming up. Not sure when, but it will, and there will be 3 colors.
Cool. And you sweet everything yourself?
Yeah, so Mum and I, we both sweet everything, we design everything. So it is tough, but honestly, when you're doing something that you love, you forget what time it is. Like there are times when, so I get home from work around 6ish. Yeah, so I finish work around 6ish, and then I would do my meso sui. And there are times when I would be sewing till like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I just am enjoying it so much that I forget. And so it's, I hope that our young people can find what it is that they're truly passionate about, what gets them out of bed, because when you find that, when you get to grow into the person that you want to be, honestly, you are unstoppable.
Yeah,
you don't know where your energy comes from too.
Yeah, that's so true. Like I feel you. Like I'm going through a massive change in my podcast and in my ventures that I'm doing. Like I'm also starting a business myself, and which is really exciting. That's why I was really excited to talk to you. So I'm starting a business myself, so I'm having to change and stuff. And it gets really tough, but then sometimes I can't sleep. So I totally relate to the restless part. Like I feel like sometimes we as entrepreneurs, we get so motivated and like we start to visualize and dream all these things that we just don't sleep. Our brain is like having a good dance while we're trying to sleep. Yeah. I don't know. I think all entrepreneurs can relate, hopefully. It's not just...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And, question for you. What's your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse. Okay. Definitely. It's in Proverbs. I've actually got a screenshot on my phone. Proverbs. Oh, great. Give me 2 seconds.
Yep.
What's yours?
Because I kind of just threw that. I've got a lot, but one that I've been reflecting on a lot because of the business is Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So every time I have the negative self-talk, I'm like, oh nah. And the whole unapologetically Pasifika thing, I would think, nah, I'm not going to let that narrative affect me. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I'm actually going to watch this again. I'm going to write that down. So my one is Proverbs 16:3 is commit to the Lord whatever you do and he will establish your plans. So for me, some of the things that I always do with TimaTalks, hence why I'm always brave enough, kind of brave, but I'm always brave enough to make the changes when they need to be. So because I put God at the forefront, and I always say to like my team, like with God at the center, anything is possible. And I know that God, so that is my favorite Bible verse. That's like, what I think about also commit to the Lord. Well, I don't know off by heart, that's why I screenshot it. Commit to the Lord, whatever you do, and he will establish your plans.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and you know, sorry, I just want to say for our Pasifika people, a lot of us, faith is really important, and it's at the center of what we do. So there are times when I'm like, oh, what's my why? I go back to my Bible verses. I go back to White Sunday and what we know. So just find your own level of comfort. If it's not your why, if it's a Bible verse, then let that carry you through your hard times. So
thank you. That's very encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you. We should just have our own Bible study now. Have you got a Bible? Yes. But I loved Dawn's place. Like, honestly, like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, I loved just sitting in her sitting room, chilling, doing everything.
And just opening up,
and it was such a safe space. So for those of you who are watching, our friend Dawn, shout out to Dawn Elu.
Yes,
she would literally open up her home to a group of lost and broken girls.
Yes.
Me. I was so broken at that time of my life. Praise the Lord, I'm okay now. But at that time I was healing, and I was seeking that. And so I found it in a sitting room with sausage rolls and hot chocolate and coffee. It's just like the dream.
Yes.
Study group.
Because there were only 3 of us that were married, at the time.
So
Dawn, Scylla, and me.
Yes. Oh, I miss Scylla. Oh, okay. But so I just remember, it was just a vibe. It was a real vibe. Like, I was meant to be there. Like, I live all the way here in Manurewa, but God would take me with no petrol all the way out to Mamau Bible study. But honestly, like, the healing that came from that was like, it kind of set me up to keep going.
It's a day, and that's what we need.
Like drinking now, then Friday night turned into sitting room with the girls and the Bibles, and
we should start it up.
We should. I would drive to Timaru if I had to.
Oh God!
I would drive.
You could.
Yeah. I honestly, we should do like a Zoom one or something. I'm like, we should. I want to ask Dawn. Hey, but let's do it. I'm keen. Girl, let's DM.
I've got my because after that I was the only one that didn't have a kuspaia. You guys all had the
have a Bible. I remember that
with my Tima.
I remember.
Well, I went and I got a kuspaia after that, and then it ended like our
you came later because it was like a 6-week thing.
Yeah, true. Well, my Bible hasn't been open since, so I would love to open.
Okay, let's pray. That is going to be our prayer, and from now on, that we find a good Bible studies group. We pray that Dawn runs. There's something about her.
I agree.
Thank you so much. Have you got a Samoan Language Week feed tomorrow at work, or?
No, we don't. So. I'm happy for you to bless the viewers with some info.
But cool. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. It is available on Facebook Live, and then you're gonna have your little thing on YouTube, on Instagram tomorrow. So
thanks so much, Sis, for inviting me to be part of it.
I will see you in the DMs.
See you then. Thanks, Sis. Take care.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.